U.S. military labels AI firm Anthropic a supply chain risk over military use. The United States government has taken the unprecedented step of designating artificial intelligence AI company Anthropic, creator of the Claude chatbot, as a supply chain risk. This move effectively forces government contractors to cease using Anthropic's technology, escalating a clash over the military's access to AI tools and raising significant questions about national security versus corporate ethics. The conflict, military access versus ethical safeguards. The Pentagon's decision, announced Thursday, follows accusations from President Trump and Defense Secretary Hegseth that Anthropic endangered national security by refusing to remove safeguards against mass surveillance and autonomous weapons development. Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei has vowed to legally challenge the designation, arguing it lacks legal basis and infringes on the company's principles. The core of the dispute lies in Anthropic's refusal to grant the military unrestricted access to Claude. The Pentagon insists on lawful use for all purposes, while Anthropic sought narrow exceptions to prevent its AI from being used for unethical applications. This disagreement highlights a growing tension: how to balance military necessity with ethical considerations in an era of rapidly advancing AI technology. Immediate impact and industry response. The designation has immediate consequences. Some military contractors, including Lockheed Martin, have already begun phasing out Claude, seeking alternative large language model (LLM) providers. Microsoft, however, clarified it can continue working with Anthropic on non-defense projects. The Pentagon's interpretation of the risk designation remains unclear, though current notifications suggest restrictions only apply to direct military contract applications. This ambiguity underscores the lack of clear standards for applying supply chain risk rules to domestic tech companies. Criticism from lawmakers and experts. The Pentagon's move has drawn widespread criticism. U.S. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand denounced it as a dangerous misuse of a tool designed for foreign adversary threats. Experts, including former Federal Trade Commission chief technologist Neil Chilson, called it massive overreach. A letter signed by ex-intelligence officials, including former CIA Director Michael Hayden, warned against setting a dangerous precedent by penalizing a U.S. firm for refusing to compromise its ethical standards. The debate highlights a critical point. Applying supply chain risk rules to domestic companies blurs the line between legitimate national security concerns and political pressure. This could stifle innovation and drive responsible AI developers away from government partnerships. Unexpected consumer boost for Anthropic. Paradoxically, the conflict has driven a surge in consumer downloads of Claude, with over 1 million new signups daily. This suggests public support for Anthropic's stance, even as it faces military backlash. The dispute also reignites Anthropic's rivalry with OpenAI, the company founded by some of Anthropic's current leaders. OpenAI swiftly moved to replace Anthropic in classified military environments, though CEO Sam Altman later admitted rushing the deal was a mistake. Anthropic CEO Amodei has since apologized for an internal note criticizing OpenAI's opportunistic move, further complicating the already tense relationship between the two AI giants. The U.S. government's decision to label Anthropic a supply chain risk is a pivotal moment in the ongoing debate over military AI use. The move sets a precedent that could reshape the relationship between defense agencies and responsible AI developers, raising questions about whether national security justifications will outweigh ethical considerations in the long run.